Hey guys, you're watching Finance Squared. I'm your host, Derek West, and we've been talking about strategies for being smarter with your money. Take a look in the description or somewhere on the screen for that video series. You're watching a video in that series, as a matter of fact. But in one of those videos, I talked about being smart with your money is like treating money or making money as a game. Learning the rules of the game and you will improve at it. As a matter of fact, one of the rules of that game is learn how to double your money. The more you can double your money, the quicker your income will grow. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about several ways in which you can double your money. So I'm going to need you to gently caress that like button for the YouTube algorithm just to get it out of the way. And, pay attention and actively listen, as I'm going to drop some pretty unique information here. So let's break it down. Doubling your money can be flashy and sexy, but more often than not, slow and steady wins this race. Remember I said, money is a game. And probably the most reliable and one of the more safe ways to double your money is to invest in blue chip stocks and investment grade bonds using instruments such as index funds or ETFs. Now, like I said, it's not really all that sexy unless you're into that kind of thing. Your money won't double in a week. Your money won't double in a day. Your money won't double in a year. In fact, depending on your rate of return, maybe not even a decade. But if you stick with it, most certainly your money will double. And remember, it's not about investing one time. It's about consistently investing at a certain cadence. Every time you invest, that investment is a seed for doubling of your money. Now, if you consider the fact that large blue chip stocks have returned roughly 10% annually over the last 100 years, and investment grade bonds have returned roughly 4% over the same period, if you mix your portfolio with both at a solid ratio, for your risk tolerance, you should expect about an 8% return ratio annually on average. Now, some years it might be negative. For example, there are plenty of folks this year that have negative stock portfolios. Other years it might be 13 to 15%. So in 2019, there were plenty of people that had 15% returns on their investments, possibly even 20% returns on their investments. But on average, over the years, it'll be about 8%. And if you use the famous rule of 72, another great rule for learning the game of money, you can figure out how long it will take you to double your money. And a quick sidebar. The rule of 72 is a shortcut to estimate how quickly your money will double based on the expected rate of return. There is a more accurate way to calculate it, but it is a massive, complicated equation. And if I whip out my slide rule, everybody's gonna click off the video. So just use the rule of 72. That said, divide by 72 the expected rate of return. In our example, 8%. And you can expect your money to double every 9 years, which means your money will quadruple every 18 years. Keep in mind that the rule of 72 is really accurate on low rates of return, anything less than about 15%. As rates go higher, it might not be the best way to calculate when your money will double. But speaking about faster rates of return, buying investments when they are undervalued is one of the best ways to make a good investment return. So while it is oftentimes difficult to do, you really should be buying stocks when markets tank. For example, like in March of 2020, when stocks just went through the floor. Stocks and other commodities, as a matter of fact, went through the floor. People who bought into those companies that were hardest hit by the pandemic, like travel and cruise line companies, oil futures, airline stocks, and real estate companies that hold a lot of hotel assets, all will make and are currently making a mint off of them. Let me just be clear here. There are people who invested in such things and that actually lost a lot of money. That said, that is part of the learning process, particularly if you're young and are not investing with money you need to pay your light bill. Which takes me to another rule of the game. Invest with money you have left over. Do the legwork and the research to determine which companies are going to be worth picking up when everybody is panicking. And a great way, if not imperfect way, to do that and to tell if a stock may be oversold is the company's price to earning ratio and its book value. Price to earning ratio is the market value per share divided by the earnings per share. And the book value is the difference between a company's total assets versus its liabilities. Similar to your net worth. You can find both of these valuable insights when looking on most investment research sites like MarketWatch or CNBC or Investopedia. Both measures have historically been able to confirm whether or not companies are overvalued or undervalued, and it can help you to determine whether or not to think about adding a stock to your portfolio. This is a little bit controversial, but also a great way to double your money. If you're really looking for the fast lane when it comes to doubling your money, then you might want to engage in even more speculative ways using advanced trading strategies, or what I like to call exotic instruments. These methods are not for the faint of heart, or for the type of investor who likes to set it and forget it. If you have the time and capacity to do deep research on various stocks and you have the cash lying around, again, You aren't spending this month's mortgage payment to invest, hopefully. Then there are ways that you can quickly double your money, namely options, margin trading, or penny stocks. Oftentimes, you will hear some YouTubers and influencers say that nobody is willing to give you any money to invest in stocks. That's not accurate. By a long shot, actually. There are plenty of people, banks, and institutions willing to give qualified investors cash to invest in stocks, namely to loan them cash to invest in stocks. Most brokers will do it for you, assuming you're qualified. But that is essentially what trading on the margin is. In addition to that, that's what option trading is, more or less. Both of those methods allow investors to essentially borrow money from a brokerage to buy or sell more shares than they actually would have been able to otherwise. It's similar to buying a house with more money than you actually have, and because the bank has confidence, you will make your mortgage payments every month. If you are confident that a stock will fall, then you can borrow money to buy and then sell that stock that you technically didn't own. If you are confident that a stock will rise in price, then you can borrow money to buy more shares of that stock than you would typically afford at that period of time. Options are typically very complicated. And full disclosure, this video is not long enough to really go over the intricacies and depths that trading options involves. If you're going to do something like that, then you definitely need to do your homework. Let me know in the video down below if you want a video on options and how to trade options. I'll definitely get my homework assembled on the subject and make a video for that in the future. But be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if that's something you want to see. Another great way to double your income is to expand your income streams. So this one is going to be a little bit expected and unexpected at the same time. But one of the best ways to double your money is to get another income stream, and another, and another, and another. Finding ways to add to your income stream is a fantastic way to double your money. There is any number of ways to do that. If you're just starting out, things like ride sharing or doing odd jobs for a neighbor using various apps that allow you to do such things. Or maybe more exotic and time-consuming methods like drop shipping or Amazon FBA, all of which would make a fantastic video idea. Be sure to like and subscribe and click that notification bell so that you're aware when that video drops. But by adding a second income stream, and most importantly, cultivating it, in the long run, you will double your ability to make money, if not double your money altogether. I talked about making money is similar to a game. Treat your second income like a side quest of that game. Sure, you can finish the game without exploring every one of the dungeons, but the bosses will be harder and you won't find the really cool sword. Finding a side income is not easy. Don't let anybody fool you. All these gurus talking about drop shipping and Amazon FBA and Etsy and all those other things, all these things take time and effort and product research and the ability to find a product that will resonate with an audience. Not easy to do. People lose thousands of dollars trying to do that. People lose jobs trying to do that. Not something that's easy to do, but it can be done. And I'm sure you've seen examples of people that can do it. You can do it too. You see, finding a side income is not easy. It takes a ton of work, almost like a second job. And if you're being honest with yourself, it will be like you have two jobs if you're doing it right. But if you're doing it right, it will be extremely rewarding. And there is the possibility that your second income will eclipse your first. And if you can do that, then you can afford to put more focus into it and make it your main gig. And once you make it your main gig, then you can step away from your current gig. And you can use your newfound gig to really double your income. And probably even more than double your income, quadruple your income, quintuple your income. There are people that have used each of those things that I talked about, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, Etsy, to make 7-figure incomes, 8-figure incomes as a matter of fact. So don't take them lightly. They are things that you have to master, things that you have to learn. There is not a guru that can teach you or sell you a course on how to do that effectively. It's something that you're going to have to execute. But if you execute it and you execute it well, it can, for sure, take you to the next level in terms of doubling your income, quadrupling your income, quintupling your income. So don't take it lightly. But one thing I never hear anyone talk about is an employer matching your contributions into a 401k. That is literally doubling your money up to a certain percentage. So as an example, if you work a main 9-to-5 job, and if your company offers a 4% match, that means if you invest 4% of your paycheck into your 401k, then your company will match that 4%, effectively doubling that contribution. You sort of lose a lot of people when you start talking about percentages and things of that nature, but let me give you a concrete example. If you get a paycheck for $100 and you elect to put 4% of that into your 401k, pre-tax, mind you, then you will be putting in $4 and your employer will be putting in $4 for a total of $8 into your 401k. Now that is a heck of a way to double your money pre-tax. If you keep that up for a couple of years, then you'll be on your way to having a healthy little nest egg. And that little example is just a microcosm of what you can do with that strategy. Keeping in mind 401ks and other government-sponsored investment instruments, you can only invest a certain amount of your income into it. For example, I think it's 20% for 401ks and IRAs and things of that nature. So one of my problems with 401ks and IRAs is the limited amount that you can grow your income. I want to be able to invest as much money as possible. So 401ks and IRAs are great in terms of doubling your money, but there are other ways to do it. I'm talking about one coming up right now. Spending money. This one is a little controversial, but it is 100% true. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money. So it's more obvious with things like stocks and bonds. If you use your money to purchase those instruments, then they will grow over time. It's also kind of obvious with things like purchasing a home or a rental property, all of which can double your money or your assets really when you do it right. But what I'm talking about is a little more subtle way of spending money to make money. For example, spending money on online courses to increase your skills. If you spend, just an example, $120 on a Udemy course to learn how to edit videos, that could earn you a gig from Fiverr that pays you $240. Again, just an example. Those numbers are 100% speculative, and like I said, it's just an example. But another example would be spending money on tools that you will need to make money, like on professional editing software. Software that will help you to earn that money editing videos. Or maybe on nice seat covers for your car, so that people are more comfortable when you're Ubering them or lifting them around. Another way to spend money to double your money is to hire a virtual assistant to handle tasks that don't add value to your day. Having somebody to handle menial tasks can free up your mind to focus on things that truly provide value in your life. And when you focus on the things that provide value in your life, you are more than likely to increase the value that they bring to you, i.e., more money into your coffers. Another smart money tactic for doubling your income that a lot of people don't really think about: paying off your debt. Paying off high interest and bad debt, like debt from credit cards, can free up your money to do other things. I mean, that one's just plain simple. And really don't need to expound, but paying off debt that you owe, high interest debt, that can be up to 25% on things that you've purchased months, maybe years in the past. Paying all that off and eliminating the interest that you would be paying on that normally frees up that money to then be saved and invested into instruments that we've talked about earlier, like stocks, bonds, Amazon FBA stores, Shopify stores, all of these things that will earn you money. You then take the money that you would have paid on interest and you invest it in things that will make you money. That for sure can double your income. I saved this one for last, and I saved it after paying off high interest credit card debt because in my mind, this one should be used sparingly, although it can be used to effectively double your money. But if you do it wrong and you don't have spending discipline, you could end up back in the same position with high interest credit card debt. But like trading stocks using options and margins, I'll present it to you just so you have another tool in your tool belt. But essentially, if you qualify for and get a rewards card with rewards that are worth it, you could essentially get cash back, or again rewards, like airline miles and hotel stays for every purchase that you make. Now that sounds like a Capital One commercial. No, that said, it is true. The catch is you don't want to be in revolving high interest credit card hell. So, let me say this and let me be clear. Pay off your balance in full every month and do not purchase things that you would not have purchased anyway. And if you can't do this sort of things, don't get a credit card. Don't get a credit card and then use it to splurge on all expenses paid for vacations. Don't get a credit card to purchase meals at restaurants that you normally wouldn't go to and that you normally couldn't afford. Get a credit card to purchase your groceries or your gasoline or other reoccurring expenses that you already have that are already within your means to pay. And then pay off that bill in full every month. That way, If you do that, you will build your credit score. You will earn reward points from credit card companies. Building your credit score will allow you to borrow money to invest in things such as a house for yourself to live in, but more importantly, a rental property. A rental property will allow you to double your money. So, in that regard, getting credit cards and using them wisely will allow you to double your money easily. Now, of course, there will be some stipulations by the credit card companies to qualify for both the card and the rewards. So be sure to read the fine print before you attempt to apply to make sure it makes sense for you. And finally, you're going to want to click on one of the videos on the screen. I have a playlist that I'm either just working on or have just finished, depending on when you're watching this, on credit cards and on how to use them properly. Also, I have other videos on the channel that are worth watching on the topics of smart money. Be sure to like this video if you like this video, and drop a comment with your thoughts on different ways to double your money. Curious minds need to know. And be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell for more great videos, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.